That sounds scary. That's some alien noise. But only in eco mode. That sounds scary. If you're thinking of purchasing the 2023 Honda CRV, you need to watch this video because the best trim, in my opinion, to pick for the CRV is the Hybrid, which is the one that we have for today's video. And of course, special thanks for this video goes to our great friends at Orangeville Honda, a Honda dealership located in Orangeville, Ontario, Canada. They were kind enough to give us the 2023 Hybrid CRV to review it and show you what it's all about. And if you want to come take it for a test drive, well, they do have a demo unit. So don't forget, check out the link in the description below. The 6th generation CRV received major updates on the inside and on the outside, but that's not what we're going to talk about in this video. If you want to watch that specific review, the link will be in the description below. But this time we want to talk about the Hybrid. Why is it different? Why is it better? And of course, how much does it cost to actually buy this thing? And we're going to take it for a spin. First, let's talk about the exterior design. How different is this from the standard CRV? Front end, for example, more aggressive, more sporty. The beautiful grille at the front, glossy black, love that color. And this little line here, glossy as well. You can tell the difference between the standards and the Hybrid. And then if you go at the bottom, we have the beautiful chrome finish, this rectangular that you see on both sides. And that's one way to tell that this is a Hybrid. But don't forget, in the US, there are 2 different hybrids. We'll talk about that in a minute. And a beautiful finish. The exterior color, it is the urban gray. And I have to say, this is actually very, very good. Then we move on to the rear end where, again, some little details changed. For example, we have the Hybrid badge over here, and this is not blacked out for the CRV badge. And we have the blacked out spoiler at the top, the actual brake light as well, all-wheel drive in here, so you know this is an all-wheel drive. And then if we move at the bottom, one thing you notice is the chrome finish exhaust tips. But here's the interesting fact about that. Only one is real, and that's the one on the right side. This is actually fake. I'm assuming they did that just to give it a more sporty look, but just keep that in mind. You only get one exhaust. And with this package, with the Hybrid, you get powered liftgate. Look at that, because this of course costs a lot more money than the standard CRV. But one thing I was told by the great people here at Orangeville Honda is to remove this part over here. So let me show you quickly how you do this. Look at that. I'm going to show you something very interesting that I found in the standard CRV. This is where the battery is, and you are not allowed to put anything in here. And also you don't get a spare tire, but you do get the accessory for the tire on the left side from the inflator and so on. Look at Bruh. Oh, that fell off. I think I broke this. Now I might have to buy it. No, actually, it's actually pretty easy to do that. Look at this. It's just a plastic.
A few moments later.
There we go. Now we're talking. And it just goes down. When you jump inside with the second row, of course, you get beautiful leather interior with this package, hence why you're paying a bit more. But you don't get a full panoramic roof with this package, which I must say I'm a bit disappointed. There's only one sunroof and it's at the front. Now let's jump into the first row. Let me show you some of the cool things that you get with the Hybrid package. It is hybrid, so therefore you don't hear the engine right away, but it does start when it needs to charge the battery, which it's doing right now. But the crazy part is that you put your foot down on the throttle and there's no actual sound, like it's not revving because it's just charging the battery, which is great. There's different driving modes and so on. Let's talk about the details. First of all, you get a bigger screen with the Hybrid in comparison to the standard one, much nicer, a lot of options as well. There's not just a backup camera, it's a full view backup camera with different modes, which again, is very, very helpful, hence why you're paying more money. Feels more like a Civic inside, you guys know this. Interior received some changes with the Hybrid. For example, we get a Bose audio system, much nicer audio system. There's a wireless charging pad in the front. Then the interior, of course, leather, beautiful yellow orange stitches around it, which I don't know where the theme is starting. Is it because the theme is outside in yellow? I don't get it. Wheels as well. With this package, you get 18-inch wheels or 19-inch, which is very important. And this is all-wheel drive. You have different driving modes: sport, normal, eco, and there is snow as well. The cluster is half digital, half analog. There's no heads-up display with this package. The steering wheel, beautiful finished leather. There's the paddle shifters in here that you can see, but this is not to actually shift. It's more to do with the range, I'm assuming. Let's go into that. Yeah, it's not for paddle shifting. It's just also that sound. That's scary. And that's only when it's in hybrid mode. In regular mode, it doesn't do that. Not bad. You can scare people with that. Next thing, you got heated seats with this package, but you don't got any ventilated seats. Like, come on, Honda. It's a lot of money for this car. That's the disappointing part. Other than that, it's a much nicer interior than the standard that I reviewed. I have to say, the leather, it's a nice touch. You got this gloss black finish on the dashboard, panel as well, power windows all around. It's nice. My seat is powered on this side, and I believe, oh, that's a nice one. And then there's also for the passenger on this side. So you get power seats for both sides and tons of storage room. Heated steering wheel. We got memory seats for this, 2 memory seats for the driver side. I actually like this. Let's talk about the infotainment display because there's a few things that you need to know. First of all, this is touchscreen, most importantly. And then you have the power flow, so that will tell you the range exactly. That is pretty cool. You got a lot of information and of course, liters per 100 kilometers and where the power is getting distributed. Then we go back into this because this has a 12 speaker system from Bose. There's a few things that you can play around. For example, you can change all the settings in here. There's the Bose center points, which sort of like plays the music specifically in the center, so that way you're getting music all around the interior of the vehicle. Then we have Bose Dynamic in here, automatically increases the volume as the vehicle speed increases. That is a cool feature. The backup camera as well, little details. Man, that sound, it's scary. There's parking sensors you have in the front and the rear side with this package, which is nice. Then that's the towing, because don't forget, this can tow up to 1,000 pounds with this package, and that's very, very important. Then you go back into that. There is Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, I believe there is with this one. There's a Wi-Fi hotspot with this package. All the good stuff that you need. One thing that I find with these infotainment displays, specifically the new generation, is it is a bit slow, and it is slow when you start it up. Like, I pressed that. This was fast because I had it on and then turned it off. But when you jump in first, I noticed that even with the Civic, it's kind of like the same idea. It's not as quick. But it is intuitive, I have to say. It's easy to use. I like that. Sport mode. The CVT. Under the hood, we have a 2-liter 4-cylinder engine. It makes 204 brake horsepower and 247 pound-feet of torque. And it is mated, of course, with a pair of electric motors because it is a hybrid. And that was in sport mode because it has a CVT technically. That is interesting. It makes that noise. Just basically single gear in some ways. The interesting part is that this, compared to the standard one, can tow up to 1,000 pounds, which again, for some people might be important. Let's talk about the price because that is very important. In the US, you got 2 trims and 2 drivetrains. You get a sport hybrid and a sport touring hybrid. You can get a 2-wheel drive of a 4-wheel drive, all-wheel drive technically. In Canada, you get only 1 hybrid, which is called the CRV Touring Hybrid. And you can only pick 1 drivetrain, which is an all-wheel drive. Let's talk about the price. In the US, the Sport Hybrid starts at $32,400 USD, so you're looking at about 33,000 USD. In Canada, well, that's a bit more expensive, but because in Canada, we're only going to get one trim. In the US, the second trim, the Sport Touring Hybrid, it's at $38,600, so $38,600. You're looking at about $39,600, which again is not a bad price. In Canada, the Touring Hybrid starts at $48,890, which is about, let's just say, rounded up at 50,000 Canadian. In the US, the difference between the two-wheel drive and the four-wheel drive is about $1,500 USD, which again, it's up to you. But in most states in the US, I'm assuming it doesn't snow as much, so most people will not pick the all-wheel drive. But it's nice to get the option, which we don't in North America. Brands do this all the time when they have like different trims, different name trims, but they're kind of like the same thing. The next thing you need to know is the paint choices. In Canada, you can only pick up to 7, and in the US, you get up to 8 paint choices, and only 4 are for free, technically. Well, not free necessarily, it's you don't pay extra for it. But if you had to pick the other one, you're looking at about $395, which is actually not bad. Not sure why they charge US buyers more for paint choices in comparison to the Canadian one. This generation hybrid increases also the top speed. So before you can get up to 86 miles per hour. With this, it goes up to 115 miles per hour, which I'm assuming most people will not reach. Maybe at some point. That is the top speed. In Canada, this speedometer says 220 kilometers an hour, which I'm assuming most people will not get to. But that's nice to have that, right? It's a good option. Let's talk about the fuel efficiency. In Canada, you get, on average, based on what Honda says, liters per 100 kilometers, you're looking about 6 liter, 6.9 to 6.4. That's a mix between city and highway. In the US MPG, you're looking about 43 miles to the gallon, 36 to 40. 36 is a combination of both. On a highway, you're getting about 40 miles to the gallon, which is actually very, very impressive. 43 miles per gallon, that is quite an impressive achievement. Biggest competitors to this car, well, you have the Toyota RAV4 Hybrid, which has been in the market for a while, but it's also a bit outdated in general. So this has a new facelift interior and of course exterior design. The next one will be the Kia Sportage Hybrid. And of course, let's not forget the Ford Escape Hybrid. Now let's talk about how this thing drives. After driving the standard model that we had previously, this actually, it's nice. It's a nice treat. It's a good pickup power. Like you put your foot down, it moves faster than that. It does have those weird noises when you put in reverse in a hybrid, but at the same time, it's an electric, so it must have that. It's not fully electric, but it must have those kind of noises because you want to make sure you don't just bump into someone, nobody realizes you're actually reversing, so that's very important. As a package, this is definitely better than the standard model, I'd say, because you're getting so much better fuel efficiency, better tech features inside. It looks nice on the outside. I like that front end. It's a bit aggressive, sporty. It's a nice touch. Some people will enjoy that. And it actually drives nicely. It's smooth on the road. It is quiet as well because it's mostly driving with the electric motors, which again, these are new. This is a new generation hybrid technology, which is very impressive. The engine in the front, as you can see from the video, it's actually pretty small, but there's like so much space in there. I'm assuming there might be a different engine coming in, maybe a CRV Type R. That would be cool, wouldn't that? I would mind that, so that would be interesting. But there's like so much gap in between, don't like that. I wish they had offered ventilated seats with this, would be nice touch. Heated seats are still nice, we got a heated steering wheel. I love how this drive, it's very comfortable, it's enjoyable, and you put your foot down and it moves. It actually moves, it's not bad. And I also like the fact that there's a shift knob, you put into reverse, and the ghost noise comes up right away. I'm just gonna put this in eco mode. That's interesting. Okay, we're in eco mode right now, so it's technically running through the battery. Look at the energy flow. We're doing 9.4 liters per 100 kilometers currently. And it also tells me exactly when it goes into the battery mode, so that way I can see. There's a 424 range. That is very nice. It's a nice vehicle. It's a great package. Definitely would pick this. I understand some people might not have the budget for it, but if you are going to go all in, might as well go for this. They're selling these like hotcakes, which are absolutely you know, I'm impressed with it. So that just tells you that people are seeing that this is actually a better package than the standard CRV, because that was a bit pricey for what you were offered in the package. This, on the other hand, it's nice. It's a nice package overall. I like it. I like how it drives. I like how it looks overall, and the tech features are there. Lift gate at the back, power. That's a nice touch when it's like cold out there. You're lifting something. You do that, and it automatically opens for you. I like this thing. I like this, definitely.